A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Jack Young, Artistic Director of the Houston Shakespeare Festival and head of the University of Houston's Professional Actor Training Program. Mary Flood, Legal Consultant with Androvett Legal Media and Marketing. And Ernie Manouse, co-host of Hello Houston, which airs weekdays from 11 to 1 here on News 88.7 and YouTube. Jack, Mary, Ernie, welcome.
Morning.
Morning.
Panel, even if you missed all the umpteenth weather forecasts this week, you probably knew in your soul that some sort of bad weather was coming simply because U.S. Senator Ted Cruz has been out of town. As Houston Public Media's Michael Atkinson reported Tuesday, Cruz's office confirmed that, yes, that was him. That was the senator on a plane in a photo spread on social media, not traveling back to Texas, at least not yet. Cruz, Houston Public Media was told, was on pre-planned work travel to California and that he would be back in Texas before this weekend's freezing weather hits. Cruz, you will recall, famously left Texas for Cancun during 2021's deadly winter storm, a move he admitted regretting pretty much immediately, and which he has not lived down among Texans who suffered through days of power outages during the bitter cold. As the Houston Chronicle's Sarah Smith wrote Wednesday, Houstonians have certain rituals when storms approach, from panic buying toilet paper and granola bars at the store to charging phones and battery bricks to Googling, quote, "Where is Ted Cruz right now?" Like a groundhog seeing his shadow, a traveling Senator Cruz portends bad weather ahead. Is this good, bad, or ugly? I ask you, Jack Young.
It is good in this time of uncertainty. There's so many things you can't count on. This is one of those things that you have as a touchstone. If Ted Cruz is leaving town, then the grid is going down. You know it. And so it's all set. And, you know, I'm not sure, we haven't found a way. Somebody's got to do the investigative reporting that has discovered that Ted Cruz actually snuck up to Foxborough and was watching down the tunnel as the Texans melted down, and then might have gotten spied, and then he realized he needed to run. So somewhere at halftime, he ran away, and that's how the Texans got back on their pins and managed the second half, sort of. But that he has this cosmic effect, and if we can trust in it and just count on it, then we know. So if Ted Cruz is leaving town, then the grid is going down, and we'll know, and you know to have all the things you need to prep for.
I sense you are conflating Ted Cruz's weather impact, supposed, with his alleged sports impact.
Well, they balance each other out. So one is for positive effect. So you can count on the weather going that way, but you do want to keep him away from the sports teams. So, you know, don't let him in for the Rockets games or the Dynamo or the Astros, but you want to keep him in town so that the weather stays away.
And I guess I should explain for non-sports fans, this is a common assumption out there that when we see him at a given ballpark,
yep,
what have you, or when he comments in support of a Houston area team, that
the
they tend
team's
to lose
meltdown
or
is
something.
inevitable. It is only a matter of time.
So. Okay. Good, bad, or ugly? Mary Flood.
I think it's bad, though I appreciate Jack's scientific analysis. But, you know, it's a bad sign when Cruz leaves, just like it's a bad sign when Jim Cantore arrives. And we had both of them for several things, I guess. But and I'm a fan of only one of them, you know, and who doesn't like Jim Cantore? But it's interesting to me that Cruz's destinations, first Cancun, and then during the July floods, he was in Greece, and now Laguna Beach. It makes sense that pretty beaches would be a lure for Cruz. One of my favorite things that's happened here is that AI has done just a fabulous job of turning him into a groundhog. There have been some really strong memes, even better than the ones that had him turning into Grandpa Munster, a guy who he does have kind of a vibe of that, you know, grouchy vampire look as well. So it makes sense that he'd be our red sky at morning guy.
Your reference to Jim Cantore just reminds me of the first year that I was in Houston and the first time Houston Public Media was establishing their hurricane rideout teams. And, you know, I immediately had in my mind this impression of, oh, no, I'm going to be like a Jim Cantore in the windbreaker, lashed to a tree out in the middle. And as it turns out, I'm pleased to say I was named the vice president in charge of hiding under the desk.
Yay.
That's my job
Yay.
during such storms.
And usually we still tie you to a tree out in the yard.
For completely different reasons. Good, bad, or ugly, Ernie Manouse?
It's probably good. I mean, where did he go? Was it Davos? No. The Hague? The House of... No. Laguna Beach, where important work is being done, so he needs to be there. I kind of think like a groundhog, if we see his shadow back in Houston by Sunday, then we have 6 more days of normal weather. So that's what I'm thinking.
All right, well done. You've taken on the metaphor. I
Would
appreciate
a
it.
cardboard cutout help maybe for this shot? No.
Is there a difference? Oh, just joking.
Wow. All right.
Morning.
Moving on. Panel. Conroe ISD's Board of Trustees Tuesday upheld a grievance that will keep the children's book I Am Billie Jean King out of grade school libraries because the biography mentions that the tennis legend is gay and in a same-sex marriage. As Houston Public Media's Catherine Dominguez reported this week, the complaint was filed back in October. A new state law requires the board to act within 90 days of such a challenge. The book, written by Brad Meltzer, is part of his Ordinary People Change the World series, which also features biographies of, among others, Simone Biles, Teddy Roosevelt, the Beatles, Rosa Parks, and Mr. Rogers. I Am Billie Jean King focuses on King's fight against sexism in tennis, including her 1973 Battle of the Sexes victory over Bobby Riggs at the Astrodome here in Houston. A book about Billie Jean King will remain out of Conroe ISD elementary school libraries because it mentions her sexuality. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Mary.
It's ugly, Craig. And this whole trend of censoring books in libraries at schools especially is really ugly. It's diminishing our education. It's narrowing the perspective of students. And it's usually a minority that wants the censorship, just like putting the 10 Commandments in classes. It's one religion, and in this case, because it's the Protestant version, it's a sect of one religion that we're doing. And the other thing that no Billie Jean King book pushes that it hurts LGBTQ kids who've got 2 mommies or 2 daddies. It sort of starts hate early. She was a hero of mine. I was captain of the girls' tennis team in high school. I did not get a jacket, but which is I'm not over.
Yeah, I could tell.
But it wasn't just all her Wimbledon wins. I mean, she was an icon for equal pay for women, for women's rights, for LGBTQ rights. She was amazing, and she was important even before she took down Bobby Riggs, which was hilarious and fun. But I love the libraries who have put up banned books that you can get online. It's pretty spectacular, and it's so ironic, some of the stuff that they do ban, like 1984, a book about anti-totalitarianism and anti-censorship. It's sort of like going out and burning Fahrenheit 451.
Okay, good, bad, or ugly. Ernie Manouse.
Oh, I'm going for ugly. Censorship, never a big fan of that. Also, you may not like history, but you do have a duty to yourself to understand it. So you may not like the fact of who Billie Jean King is, that she is a lesbian. It's part of the story. We can't just keep parsing out things we like or don't like. And so if we don't like a part of this story, toss the whole book, because now there's no reason that people should know this story. So we need to look at ourselves, examine ourselves, and what we're doing in today's day and age when it comes to remembering our past. The place where I have a problem is the title of the book series, which is Ordinary People Change the World. And then you look at the list of people. These are far from ordinary people. Every one of these people are extraordinary people. I get it. I'm saying it in jest, but the fact is these are all people to be celebrated and to know their stories. And it's not a series of books people who all live lives that you find objectionable. It's a series of people who have all done extraordinary things, and each one's going to bring a different life experience to it. Read all of the books. Learn about the full rainbow of people out there. So, yeah, this is ugly.
Okay, good, bad, or ugly, Jack.
I'll make it a solid unanimous ugly. To Ernie's point, just because you don't want to talk about it doesn't make it go away. Mm-hmm. And even for the folks who aren't LGBTQ, when your classmate's parent shows up and then your parent's other your classmate's other parent shows up and both of them are the same gender, that may be a puzzling thing for a half breath. And then there's a book on the shelf that goes, oh yeah, that goes. That works. So just because the book isn't on the shelf doesn't mean the life doesn't exist then or now. And it might not have been as prevalent in Billie Jean King's time as a person that might have been a parent, but it is now. And it's on. And it's not like it isn't on television. Like, oh, I take it out of the library, and the kids can see this in the magazines, on television, walking the runways, that these folks are out and walking around and not a puzzlement of, wait, how did that happen? Oh, it's been happening all along. It's not just now, it's been.
It is also one less sports biography in a grade school library. I bring this up as a kid who read a little bit, but voraciously read every single hockey biography by Stan Fischler that was in my Conway grade school library. That was my way into reading more and more. So you don't want to have that section being smaller and smaller. It probably might cause some students not to read as much.
Yes, every hook that we can to get somebody to read a book.
Yeah, that's exactly what my sports writer significant other, David Barron, said. Is he said, what were really important to me at that age were the sports bios. And taking hers away took something away from him as well, or would have.
Right.
That said, Fischler wrote a lot about Boston Bruins, and I wish he had spent a little more time paying attention to some of the other teams.
Oh.
Panel, the La Mesa branch of the San Diego County Library in California recently received an overdue library book nearly 46 years after it was checked out.
So great.
As KUSI News in San Diego reported last week, the book arrived anonymously through the mail with a short note attached that read, "Sorry, this is so late." Where has it been for 4.5 decades? No one knows, which seems appropriate since the book in question is Sheila Burnford's The Incredible Journey, a children's book about 3 pets searching the Canadian wilderness for their owners. You may remember a 90s Disney film adaptation called Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. It was pretty popular. According to La Mesa manager Cassie Colduin, the book was even returned to the very branch that it was first checked out from, even though the library itself had since changed addresses. And before you ask, no, even if she knew who returned it, she is not charging a late fee. Someone returned an overdue library book more than 45 years after it was checked out. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Ernie.
This is great. It's beyond good. It's wonderful. But I do want to know, what would the late fee have been?
Oh, my God. Compounding interest. Compounding interest.
Yeah, about $1.50 probably.
$1.50, yeah, 3 cents a day until you get it's crazy. It's great. I hate to admit, probably if you went back through my childhood home, there's probably a couple overdue library books still there, too. I was very bad at remembering to return books. But I love it. I love the story. I love the idea of it. I still have, I may have told you this before, Craig, I still have my thank you notes from my high school graduation. I wrote them all out. I addressed them, I stamped them, and I never went the next step of throwing them in the mailbox. And a few years ago, I thought, wouldn't it be funny to send them now and just see what happens?
See if any of them arrive anywhere.
Yes, well, no forever stamps on that. They won't.
I went through the list. It was, kind
they
of
don't
sad.
postage because you don't. You probably didn't have forever stamps on them.
Unless I had forever stamps.
No,
then it
not
would still
that.
be good.
Good, bad, or ugly, Jack?
Brilliant, amazing, tremendous, lovely, poetic in its own way. That it's that book that finally found its way back. But I'm envisioning some grandpa that read the book to his grandchildren, who are now grandparents, who discovered the book and went, "Oh, Grandpa didn't send this book back, and I should probably send that back." So some other grandparent can read it to their grandchild and keep it going. We're citizens, not customers. And if you remember you're a citizen, you owe these things back that it keeps in circulation. So I think it's lovely.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly,
I
Mary?
agree. It's really good. I grew up revering libraries and thinking they were a sacred space. My mother, who had read all the fiction in our little suburb of Syracuse's library, when we went every weekend, the librarian would be so excited to see her and tell her about the new books. I don't know when she did all this reading, but anyway. And, librarians are almost always like that. They're really excited to help you. They want to help you. They'll go beyond the pale to help you. And not a surprise to me that this librarian was so pleased. But I agree with you. This is from some boomer's closet. There's just no question. No question. But The only time I've ever seen somebody from the library represented being mean was in a Seinfeld episode when he hadn't returned a Henry Miller book, and they sent this guy in an Inspector Gadget raincoat to get the money from him and get the book, which that is not who was doing this one, which is great.
The one thing that I think could bring all of these topics together is if Ted Cruz had flown to Laguna Beach to return a library book about Billie Jean King.
Oh, that seems so possible. That's,
Wouldn't that have been wonderful?
But then the weather would go bad.
Jack Young is Artistic Director of the Houston Shakespeare Festival and head of the University of Houston's Professional Actor Training Program. Mary Flood's a legal consultant with Androvett Legal Media and Marketing. Ernie Manouse co-hosts our Hello Houston program weekdays from 11 to 1. Jack, Mary, Ernie, thank you all very much.
Y'all stay warm.
Stay warm.